you.
Hello, and welcome everybody to the final meeting of South Oxfordshire District Council's Cabinet. We'll go straight to Chair's announcements. I haven't got any, but I would really like to take the opportunity to thank all our officers and my colleagues for all their hard work over the year. And I want to wish you all a happy Christmas and a restful New Year.
I'll second that.
Good, thank you very much. Right, Becky, can we do apologies for absence? We have any?
Thank you. So no apologies for absence.
Oh, good. We have some people joining us online. That's good. And a roll call?
Yep, so I'll call everyone in alphabetical order. So if members please can confirm if they're present in the meeting room or present online. So Councillor Peter Paul Barker.
Present in the room.
Councillor Robin Bennett.
Present in the room.
Councillor Sam Casey Ray.
Present online.
Thank you. Councillor Maggie from Polar Rivers.
Present in the room.
Thank you. Councillor Georgina Heritage.
Present in the room.
Councillor Sam James Laurie.
Present in the room.
Thank you. Councillor David Rain.
Present online.
Thank you. And Councillor Anne-Marie Simpson.
Present in the room.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you all very much. I'll move on to agenda item 3. That is minutes from the previous meeting, which took place on the 17th of October. Personally, I wasn't here at the time, so I would rely on you to let me know if you're happy for me to sign the minutes as a correct record. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Right, agenda item 4, declaration of interests. Do we have any interests? Those could be pecuniary, registrable interest, non-registrable interest, and conflict of interest. Any of those? I see none. If you remember anything as we go through the meeting, let me know and we'll make a record. Right, urgent business. I haven't got any personally, but our good leader for whom I'm deputising today has an urgent announcement to make. Over to you, Councillor Rain.
Thank you, and apologies for not being there in person. As will become evident, the reason why when I give my report. First of all, I would refer you to the report I made to Council last week, where I was anticipating the white paper on local government reorganisation. That paper was published on Monday, and I think by 11 o'clock on Tuesday, I'd had 3 meetings briefing me on what was in that white paper. Since then, I've been talking to colleagues in this council and in other councils about what our response should be. Luckily, the white paper had been quite heavily trailed, and so what I said in the report to council is still valid. But what's happened, some of the detail that's come out in the white paper itself, councils, and I should say upper tier councils, are being asked to reply to the government by the 10th of January to say whether they want to be in the first tranche of forming combined authorities. I was going to say asked whether they wanted to be part of joining a combined authority. There's really no choice in the matter. What we do have a choice on is timing and geography. Following consultations, I've written to the leader of Oxfordshire County Council urging her to put us forward sooner rather than later, hopefully in the first tranche. And I've done that for the main reason being that I think we owe it to our residents and to our staff that if we're going to do something, to do it as quickly as possible. I don't think uncertainty helps anyone. It certainly doesn't help our residents in terms of the services that they receive. I think they need certainty as soon as possible. It really doesn't help our staff either. If they have this hanging over them for a period of time, it's bound to get in the way of delivery of services. So I would rather it happened soon. That seems to be the general consensus that's developing around the county, that is what we should do. In terms of geography, at this stage, we need to talk about the strategic authority, the combined authority. And I've expressed a preference, as I think I did in my report to council. We were urged by the government to align with existing cross-council bodies. That would clearly make life easier. And the obvious cross-council body that we're currently deal with is the ICB, the Integrated Care Board, which is organised across Buckinghamshire, Oxfordshire and Berkshire, Berkshire West. So I've expressed that as our preference. But of course, that involves other authorities, and so there will be necessarily other discussions. But I think it's best that we express a preference rather than waiting to be told what our preference would be. So that's where we're at. And the reason why I couldn't join you is because I was in a meeting with other council leaders about this earlier in the day, and it would have been a rush to get to Abingdon in time. But these negotiations will go on for quite a long time, I'm sure. And I've had 3 emails pop up on the subject while I've been talking. So that's my urgent report. I'm happy to take any questions about it, but I think everybody's been reasonably well briefed. We did a meeting with group leaders for South and Vale. We did a joint briefing too, so other parties are also aware of what it is that we're doing. That's it, I think.
Thank you very much, Councillor Wayne. Do we have any questions for David? Nope. Everybody is well briefed. Thank you. So I will move us on to public participation. We don't have anybody registered to speak. So on to agenda item 7, which is the budget setting 2025-26 report. And I've got Councillor Barker who will introduce the item.
Thank you. So, Cabinet, this is a progress report on the preparation of the revenue capital, the revenue budget, the capital programme for 25-26, or the capital programme for a longer period, 25-26 to 29-30. And this builds on the budget scene setting report, which we have already considered back in October. And as the report explains, the base budget exercise is nearly complete. The bulk of the work has taken place, and so we have a very good view here of what the position is. But as always with a budget, there will be more changes up to the point where we publish the final budget in February. I'm sure we're all aware that things like the final settlement is published very late, government settlement. So that's has only just been published and isn't reflected in what we have here tonight, but the differences are small. Similarly, I'm sure there will be minor changes and revisions as we go through January, February ahead of the budget setting meeting. But in essence, the picture before us is one that we consider nearly complete. And as it shows, there is expected to be a broadly balanced budget proposal in terms of the base budget, and that's what this shows. But bear in mind that's before any discretionary changes that we will consider, and that could be discretionary increases or indeed savings. So that's yet to come. The other point to make around government funding is that there's an assumption, which was confirmed already, that the core revenue spending power is maintained. What that means is the government assumes we will put council tax up by the amount that we can, which is £5, and they deduct that from what they give us by way of settlement, so that overall spending power stays the same. So that is exactly what this paper reflects, and exactly what the government has in fact now confirmed. One of the reasons that this budget is, pretty good, or really good in terms of base budget outcome, one of the best we've seen for many years, is that both investment income has remained is going to be higher than previously thought in the NTFP. So next year there will be again significant investment income available to the council. Now we put, an amount of that into reserves for future years. So as always in next year's budget, we'll be taking money that we set aside before interest income into the current budget and putting money aside to future years, and that's reflected in the paper as well. But the other change is the new acronym that we all have to learn, and I haven't learned it yet, to do with packaging, and that will be part of local government income in the future. And because next year is the first year of that, and things are still being worked out and moving around, what the government has done is to guarantee a certain amount of that, and that will be paid in addition to the rest of the settlement. So that's an additional piece of income just for that 1 year, because in future it'll be factored in to our income. And so just for next year's budget, that is again a big help with the overall numbers. And then looking further ahead, there's a number of pressures that we have. I think we are all aware of those which affect our own income quite separately from the things that David has just mentioned, of course. And that's the various contracts that are coming up for renewal, where, of course, subject to procurement, costs may be quite different to what they are now. The change to packaging, which is a one-off, the way that investment income is expected to fall, although we've been saying that for a few years, hasn't happened yet. And then finally, depending on our capital programme, we will soon reach a point where we would be borrowing to fund the capital programme, which is something we haven't done for a while. The capital programme has also been reviewed, and that's also in the paper, but again, not capital, new capital spending, just the existing programme has been updated. And so, in summary, I recommend that we note the report and move forward to the full budget next year.
Thank you very much, Peter Paul. I think we've got Simon Hewings on the call. Oh yes. Hi Simon. Do you have anything to add to this very thorough report?
Nothing to add at this stage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simon. Right, we are into questions. Has anybody got any questions?
One question, just in the context of what David said earlier. Are we still expecting to produce a 5-year medium-term financial plan? Is that, we just go on along assuming that we do have to for now?
Simon, go ahead. Yes.
That is the expectation at the moment. I mean, clearly everything on the table at the moment is a proposal. I mean, it remains to be seen whether in future years we would have to change that, but for now we'll carry on with 5 years.
Thank you.
So, any other questions? Right, we are into debate. Do we have a debate, or can we note the report and move on? Any debate? Any comments?
The second.
Yes, and second. I'll go with Sam. Thank you. I was just thinking, he's still fairly new. Give him the opportunity. I like an underdog. Right. I'm kidding. Thank you all very much. Let's move on to the next item, and this is the Q2 budget monitoring report. Oh, sorry, Sam.
Oh,
Sam,
thank
go
you. Yeah. What are we doing? Are we into debate? I just wanted to make a comment really on this report, which I think is really thorough and really, it was really balanced, and it was really good to see this. However, considering this new white paper and devolution, I'm thinking, what are our plans, or just proposing that our plans should not be as they were even a month ago, and actually going into the budget. Are we, as a cabinet, I would propose that we start thinking quite differently about what we're going to be doing. For example, are we thinking about the assumption of the £5 council tax increase, because every increase we put on our residents has to have a really good justification. If we are having a really good investment treasury income, and the district council may not exist in a year or so, then why are we going to be, for example, increasing council tax? That's an assumption.
Have any comments? Oh, Councillor Lorraine? David?
Yep, I agree with Sam. We will have to start thinking what the implications are. But I think the important thing in Simon's report was the white paper is just a proposal. It hasn't gone through Parliament yet. So it stands. And we're going to need guidance on things like waste contracts and how long a contract are we allowed to sign, and whether we're allowed to sign one at all. So all of that will become clear more hopefully as the white paper progresses, and we get someone from MHCLG holds our hand and tells us what it is, what the impact is, because other councils will be having exactly the same discussions and thoughts. But it's an important point to raise.
Thank you both. I agree as well with Sam that we do need to start thinking differently, but let's wait and see. Okay, so can we all note the report? Can I have a show of hands? We don't have any. Great, unanimous. Unanimous. Yeah, me too. Now we can move on to the Q2 budget monitoring report. We've got Councillor Barker again.
Thank you. Yep. So this is the report which reviews the council's revenue capital expenditure in this year to the end of month 6, which is September, so halfway through the financial year. And the revenue budget which was set for this year, which was 23.4 million. In this report, you'll see that's increased to 26.4 million. It's not a real increase. It reflects the carry forward of unspent one-off project budgets from the previous year. That's the way these monitoring reports always work. In terms of real revenue, as shown in the report, the forecast is for an underspend on the service expenditure of 200,000, 4.2 million, so essentially on track. However, at the same time, investment income is expected to exceed the budget by a considerable amount, 2.4 million. Hence, the total revenue underspend is 2.6. Forecast underspend, obviously, this is halfway through. There's also an update on the capital programme in here. Nothing very dramatic there. It's just giving the latest figures. 38.6 million is the capital approved programme, against which 10.9 million has been spent in the year to date. And so I recommend that we note the report.
Thank you very much, Peter Paul. Simon, I expect there's nothing further from you? No, nothing further. Great. Do we have any questions? No questions?
So I do have one question.
Go ahead, Robert.
Just because just a question for Simon. When is the Didcot Garden Town Fund going to be changed in the way described here? I'm trying to find the bit where it's at now, where it's, because at the moment the
Paragraph 16.
Paragraph 16. Thank you. Yeah. When is it going to be transferred to a reserve? Just so it's clearer for these reports. Is that for the next year? Sorry, you're muted.
Anna's popped up as well. I'd say as soon as we get the budget out of the way, we'll work on a presentation for future reports.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No more questions. Just popping up. Into debate. Go ahead. I make sure you did. Any comments? Do we have any comments online or from anybody? If not, can we all note the report? We have a seconder in Councillor Simpson there.
It's Christmas.
Can we all know? Yeah, great. Agenda item 9. Now, if we want to discuss the confidential part of the minutes, we could go into private session, but if not, we can close the meeting, correct?
Yeah, just to get cabinet to approve them and you can close the meeting.
Yeah, they have already. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you very much to Simon and his team, as this has been a financial evening. So
Yes, it often is. So I am closing this meeting. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Bertie. Can you turn off the webcast, please?
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.